Okay, so you've been trying to work together again for a while.
Yeah, we finished shooting that 70s show in 2006.
Yeah.
Did 8 years, 200 episodes, and sort of every year over the 10 years that we were, before now, had mentioned at some point we should do something together.
Yeah.
And so we did that over the last 2 years, and we've now shot 15 episodes of The Ranch.
What did The Ranch have that attracted you?
We really, the conversation started with what's funny. It's very hard in some ways to be funny today because everyone's so protective and so politically correct about everything that they say. And so we felt like we needed to break open a world that people didn't know and that people didn't have preconceived notions about. And when we landed on the idea of The Ranch, it's about a blue-collar family growing up in a small town in America with very conservative values, trying to keep their family business alive. But what it's really is the adult relationships between fathers and sons and mothers and sons and brothers. It's about the idea that while you're grown up, your parents aren't done being your parents, and you're not done being their children. And when your father is your boss, it adds an entirely different, funny, interesting, relatable dynamic.
You were in such an iconic series like that 70 shows, 70 show where you met there?
Yeah, and we...
You were friends from before?
No, we met...
You met there?
We had both been hired to do that show, and it was like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. I guess we're going to be friends for a while. And we assumed we'd be friends for 12 weeks and it'd be canceled. And
that's what you assumed. I was your best friend forever.
Like, I have you.
You knew Mila there, too. I must ask about her.
Yes.
Yeah, I know her really well. I know her really well.
I know her really well, too. Quite as
I know her a little bit more well than
just
you know.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
I would say quite a bit more well.
Well, you would say that.
And your parents now, how did parenthood change you? Talk to me about Wyatt.
I think parenthood just changes your priorities across the board. The minute that you step into that realm of life, you become responsible for something so much greater. You kind of go from being a kid where everybody else is responsible for you, and then you kind of hit a stage in your life where you start to become responsible for yourself, and then maybe you become responsible to a job. But once you have children, your entire life gets flipped. And I think a lot of the impetus of the idea of doing this show and the reason why we chose this format of show to do is so we can be in Los Angeles. We both have kids that are about the same age. And we can go home at the end of a workday and see our kids. And every couple weeks we get a week off, and we have our summer breaks. And so it's
most of our friends are shooting movies in Bulgaria and doing TV shows in Toronto or Atlanta. And so for us at this point in our career, we wanted to be able to be home and raise daughters. And
how do you deal with being a married man, a father now, and such a global sex symbol? Look what happened here in Buenos Aires. It's such a revolution. How do you handle that?
All of that other stuff is kind of imaginary.
No, it's true.
But in a sense, it's imaginary. It's who and what people think you are. And
I don't find him sexy.
At all. And this is my friend, and he tells me
you're handsome.
He tells me how.
I mean, he's good enough looking. He's good enough looking to hang out with me, but it's not.
But that's
as
it.
crazy.
I mean,
that's
it's
it.
barely.
Just
like on most occasions,
I'll let him in the club with me.
Not so much. So, we look at what we do for a living as a job, and it is our job. We go to work. This is what we do, and then we get home, and I think we both have good enough friends that keep us grounded and make sure that we know that we're not that important. I think beautiful things and beautiful people are people, to me, are people that are willing to do things that other people aren't willing to do.
You know about Ashton Kutcher, the sexiest man alive, and blah blah.
I did not realize that was the case.
I knew all about it.
I mean, he tells me about it all day. He's like, did you know that you're the sexiest man alive?
Cover of magazine.
That's why I'm here.
All right. You've been a notorious Obama supporter.
Yeah, I supported the first campaign that he had for president. Because I thought that he had the capacity to be a great leader. I think that he sort of laid off of being the public figure that he was when he was campaigning, and didn't continue to drive that inspiration in people to shift their perspective to accomplish some of the things that maybe he wanted to accomplish.
You know him personally?
I've met him a couple times, yeah.
And what about Donald Trump? What do you both think?
It's like
I'll give that one to you.
I can't voice an opinion on the things that he says. I don't agree with. I think most people don't agree with. And it seems to be a showman screaming things that are illogical and insensitive. And I guess as long as the media buys into it, we'll keep seeing it. But hopefully soon enough, the people will take a stance that we've heard enough from his orange face.
I find it highly unlikely that he would win a presidency.
You heard it here, guys. You heard it first.
Right.
So there you have it.
Because Latin Americans were kind of concerned about it. You know?
And by the way, even if he did win, the things that he's saying he's going to do
Are impossible.
are virtually impossible to do, and I highly doubt he has the capacity to get them done.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you
Thank
for having
you.
us.
Thank you.
Pleasure.